With me is Meng Hock, the CEO of OMS Energy Technologies, to explain the company. And I guess let's just start there. I mean, what was OMS Energy Technology doing?
So we are basically a oil and gas service and equipment provider for the upstream oil and gas industry. So in the sector of drilling and production for hydrocarbon, that's our space. We supply engineered product. We call them surface wellhead and Christmas trees, OCTGs, and well completion, and also maintenance and services for the upstream sector. The company has been around for the last 50 years. Started in 1972 in Singapore. And then as the year progresses, we started to have various footprint, especially in the Southeast Asian region. So all in all, today we have 11 facilities across Southeast Asia. And then our largest facility is actually in Saudi Arabia. That's our largest footprint. And that's the latest and the newest one from 2022. And we have about 600 people in the region, all in all.
Interesting. I was going to ask about like Singapore. I don't think of Singapore as a big energy hub, but then when you brought in Saudi Arabia, it made a little bit more sense. So yeah. And you just recently had an IPO here in the US. So tell me about that. What was that trajectory that took you to the IPO?
So when we were previously part of Sumitomo Corporation, part of the large Japanese conglomerate. And the organization, Sumitomo Corporation, decided to exit, make an exit. And I made a management buyout in 2023. And then immediately after that, we felt that it's kind of time is right for the organization to go on an IPO process. And the whole idea for IPO, there are various reasons why a company go into an IPO. Basically funding, majority basically funding for growth. Now, we were kind of on the funding side, we're kind of quite stable. So it was more of a branding and to take the company to the next step in terms of marketing out what we've been doing for the last 50 years and also what we want to do in terms of continuing to grow the organization. So we felt that the US is probably the right place to start.
Okay, so now that you're listed in the US capital markets, what is the next step for OMS?
So with that, then one of the learnings that I've done is, you don't just list and then kind of go about doing your day-to-day business again. So there's a lot of, I use the word lightly, marketing and advertising of the capability of the organization. So institution investors are probably the key for us. I mean, there'll always be retail investors, but the key for me, for the organization, is to be able to attract long-term institutional investor so that we can continue to see that growth trajectory, that growth opportunity, be it in Asia or be it in the Middle East. Now, both part of the world that we kind of operate in, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and also a little bit of North Africa, they all behave differently, but to be able to use this platform to grow and to continue to grow rather and enlarge the organization.
Well, and of course, oil is a global market. So, I mean, how do you see the oil market right now? It's been kind of not doing much lately. Do you think that'll change? Will there be more demand globally? And where do you see kind of the hotspots for oil?
I think the demand will be there. Of course, there's always been this challenge of, they call it energy transition, the renewable side of, call it the opposite of hydrocarbon. For me, I see it differently. I see the renewables, the non-hydrocarbon as an energy addition to the legacy hydrocarbon. Because if you look at what Southeast Asia is looking at, yes, there have been renewable projects, etc., has been going on, but there's also this main concern called energy security. Indonesia, in the last year or so, with the new president, has decided to say, look, we need to increase our production barrels of oil from where they are today to about 600,000 barrels a day up to 1 million barrels a day in the next couple of years. So again, hydrocarbon is in there. Malaysia is actively pursuing gas. Thailand is actively pursuing gas. They are a net importer, actually. That will be the three key areas. If I move quickly to the Middle East, then they continue to be active. Yes, they have to manage inventory, they have to manage the price of oil, etc., and all that. But again, that need for hydrocarbon actually help fund right now on the transition project, the renewable project, the economic project, the infrastructure project. So it will be there. Now, we see probably in the next 5-10 years, my best guess, new wells may be more controlled, but going back to the older wells, to what they call enhanced oil recovery, basically to go back to the oil well and kind of get more output up from there, then the technology will have to change because it's a different methodology to go out there and take that hydrocarbon out from the ground.
And of course, green energy got a lot of attention lately, but I think we're finding we still need fossil fuels to be able to meet all the energy needs. Are you seeing that as well? And where do you think green energy fits into the mix of the future?
So it's going to be a partnership. Yes, we want to be cleaner, and the oil and gas player actually are spending a lot of attention in terms of how to extract hydrocarbon in a more friendlier manner. I know there's complicated project, call it carbon capture, to try and make it more friendly, to try and continue to kind of get the energy that we're looking for. But then to complement it, then the solars, the winds, the hydros will have to come in to kind of complement each other to try and continue from there. That's my take for now.
Yeah. And then, so what do you plan to do in terms of exploration? Will you be exploring or mainly just doing the upstream work?
So our focus has been to supply the engineered product to the large oil and gas operator, national oil companies, and also large independent, Shell, Chevron, Petronas, Saudi Aramco. So because we're kind of young, we kind of came out into the IPO stage, and I want to continue to develop the product that we have for the upstream side. So the R&D, the product development, the engineering solution will continue to go down this track, which is why we want to be listed. We want to have that growth opportunity to be able to then look at technologies that are out there, to possibly maybe look at M&A or joint venture to try and expand that product line to grow within the Asian region and also in the Middle East region as we move forward. Yeah.
Now, when you think about M&A, do you think about acquiring companies that are in similar lines of business, or would it be a more geographical merger and acquisition?
Our product line are basically international. So long as there's a manufacturing outfit, we can supply it to wherever the needs are. So when we look at M&A, there are a few possibilities. One is to close the gaps on the product that we don't have, i.e. organically, we still have to develop them. I can accelerate it by acquiring somebody, bolt it on, and then I have the more complete product line, product offering. Or the other methodology or the other aspect that I'm looking at is do I bolt on to the adjacent activities? So I'm in the upstream, but the upstream, if you break it down, has many sectors. Do I go, I mentioned briefly EOR, ESP, and oil recovery. It's not really our forte, but if I can bolt it on, I get additional services. Or I go downhole completion, I'm able to provide additional services as well to the customer. So then it becomes more complete in terms of the systems rather than just the product for what we have today.
Okay, all right. So, and then I guess in the near term, just growing and looking at perhaps acquisitions and enjoying your recent IPO.
Of course, yeah. And being listed in the US, one of the learning that I've done is I need to make a bigger presence in the US. So looks like the United States is going to be a frequent place that I'm going to drop by to be able to.
We'd love to have you here. Yeah. So please come by the stock exchange and we'll do an interview here in person.
Magic. Thank you.
Thanks, Meng. So nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. Thank you very much.